in the shop this afternoon, perusing through my Paul Brown and Mirrolure plug supplies as I move into fall and early winter. Recently, I was down in Pinellas County and I stopped by L&S Baits, which you all know as the original Mirrolure company. I was down there to brainstorm with Cameron for a new project that we're working on that you guys are going to hear about very soon. But while I was in town, I wanted to stop by because Eric Bachnick told me some of our new custom lures had come into the plant. So I had gone over there thinking, oh, I'll check those out and maybe I can get a tour from Eric. But it all worked out. I ended up visiting a number of personalities there at Mirrolure on this trip down. And for a company that was started back in 1937, they've come a long way. I mean, a very long way, and acquired a lot of brands along that path. But I don't want to give it away and be a spoiler. Go check out our trip to Mirrolure. I think you'll enjoy the tour. Episode of FlatsClass YouTube is brought to you by Aquatraction, your go-to solution for advanced marine flooring. So, taking you on a field trip today, FlatsClass YouTube, we are going to Mirrolure. We're going to walk through the plant. I don't know if Eric's here, but if he's not here, let's try to get Mike, the national sales manager, and see what's new. I haven't been here in a while. I was in town doing something with Cameron. I figured, stop by Mirrolure. All right, out of the shop and back here in the studio, I walked through, and on one of the benches, here's an old Mirrolure. Now, don't pay attention to those hooks. Those are kind of, something that had been rigged on here a few different times. But this is one of the original plastic plugs that Harold LeMaster actually came up with as they turned in from the Bassmaster bait, which you're going to learn about that, the wooden plugs, to the actual plastic molded and injected plugs that we have today. And it's kind of cool to know the history of the brand. And that's why I wanted to see Eric so that he could share all of it with you guys, because one of the cool things we do here at FlatsClass are these field trips. So when I walked around the building and got into the sales office, the receptionist says, well, Eric's not back from Tampa yet. Oh, okay. She goes, who else would you like to see? Well, I'll see Mike Tenian, the national sales manager. And she goes, well, he stepped out and won't be back for a little while. It shouldn't be too long. I go, well, is Ray here? She goes, Ray's on the phone right now. He's handling an order situation out of Texas. Okay. Who else do you have? She walks me out into the warehouse and introduces me to a young man named Garrett. I had never met Garrett before, but I was impressed with his knowledge of the product line. He walked me back through. I asked him a few questions about some of the new things that were coming out, and he kind of held me over until Mike Tenian could arrive a little later in this video. But here's Garrett and myself, and he's explaining some of the new skin series, the CS14 MRs, and a few other baits prior to Mike Tenian coming in. Check Garrett and I out right here. All right, you tell me if we're looking at stuff we should never see. I'm sure all this is good though in here.
Yeah. All right, so here's some of the new CS14s.
Oh wow.
The mullet.
Yeah, these things look like the real McCoy actually.
Yeah.
They really do. And that size, everything eats them.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it.
And then here's the CS pen.
Oh man, that looks exactly like a pinfish. And in that size, you're going to get a lot of eats. You really are. Cool.
And then this, the
And
PRD.
then you got the pilchard. Oh, God, snook guys are going to love this. Work that through a dock light or something like that. That's an instant eat.
And then the shad.
And then the shad. Hell, I might use this bass fishing. That'd be perfect. What else do we got?
And then you got the CS16 mullet.
Oh yeah, that's a good size for a surface walker. I'll bet you know how to tell the difference like I do just by where the line tie is underneath the chin if it's a surface walker.
And then you got the CS17 mullet. It's a more of a like a pinfish kind of.
Oh yeah, it's very scaly. Gosh, these things are getting really good. Really getting good now.
And then here's the pin.
The actual pin in the 17. The skin series selling well for you guys, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got them in all the sizes.
And then here's the shad and the
shad
the
and the
pilchard.
pilchard. Nice. Nice. Let's go take a look at that Topwater.
Garrett did a good job, and I was almost looking forward to him going through the whole product line and stuff, but then Mike Tinian walked into the plant and was looking for me because he saw my truck out there in the parking lot, and well, here's what happened.
It's back now, so you can go get a more extended tour.
Sounds like he's
All right.
handing me off to you.
Sounds good.
So I talked with Eric on the phone, and he said that you would show me around. Garrett was here ahead of you, and he showed me some of the heavy Deans and the 28 MRs now, and some of the skin series. Is there anything else that's really new coming, or any new colors, or?
Mainly, the newest things are the skin series.
Okay.
You know, in the CS14, the CS18, and the CS85 mod.
Okay.
And then the 28 is obviously the newest.
That's going
model.
to be. I was telling Garrett I get more questions about that than any. When are they making it? When are they making it? You finally got it. It's out in retailers now?
Yes, it's out in
Yeah,
retails
out in
now.
retailers.
You know, available in all the stores, all your chain stores, local tackle shops. It's a great bait. It's basically the 27, same action, but it's going to get down a little deeper.
Right.
Especially wintertime. You know, you got a lot of people like to use that 52, the TT that have that sink rate. The 28 will have the same sink rate and be able to get down there and get where those trout
And
are
you
sitting.
should be able to fish some current with it too.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
So that's
Yep.
going to, and it probably casting distance will help a little bit too.
Absolutely.
I see that you got the congratulations on the 10 years up there. You guys surprised old Eric with
Yes. We had a surprise party on Friday for Eric.
Yeah.
It was now the 10 years that he's been owning the company since he acquired it from his Uncle Bill.
Yeah. Wow. Killer. All right, let's maybe talk a little bit about history with Mirrolure here and after this. So one of the cool aspects about being a Mirrolure pro is the fact that we get to, well, have our own custom colors, and you guys have been buying them off the Captain CA site for a long time, but I'm gonna talk to Mike about how that goes because he's got some really kick-ass ones here right now that are probably headed to Texas.
One of the things we do here at Mirrolure is we do custom baits and custom runs for people. You know, there's a lot of trout fishermen that want a specific color, specific insert, different eye color, things like that, and we will accommodate that. What we require is its minimum order of 60 pieces per color and per model, and then you can pick the insert, the hook, the eye color, the pad print on the side, which is like that is a trout pad
Yes.
print. That's a standard pout print or standard pad print.
Pad print, easy for you to
Little.
say.
And then that's a trout one again.
Yeah, that's a good looking bait.
Just a little
right there.
tongue twister there.
Yeah, that's a good looking bait there. Yeah, it's nice. And a lot of folks may not know, but you guys are the Paul Brown
Yes.
people now too.
We are the Paul Brown people. We are also the Island Lure people and the
Drone Spoon. Oh wow.
So Paul Brown is a company that we bought out of Texas. We bought them about 12 years ago. And originally that company was basically sold out of the gentleman's garage. And then we took it and made it possible for everybody all over the country. You know, and now it's become very popular, you know, in South Florida, in the Carolinas, and also Texas, where now people don't have to go knocking on someone's garage door to be able to purchase that bait.
It's got a cult following, the Paul
Oh yeah,
Brown.
it had the Texas bait trout record.
Oh, wow.
For years.
For years. Yeah,
I think it was around a 13-pound speckled trout.
and it's definitely been my go-to. It has been my go-to during January, February, and March and April. That's one of the, I guess, probably the most utilized trout lure I have in my bag.
Yeah, it's considered a wintertime bait, but honestly, that fish or that bait will catch fish all year round.
All year round, yeah. And now that you have the Mirrodine in the Paul Brown lineup, that Mirrodine shape, it probably does get fished year round because that's probably become more
popular. It's got a great action to it. It's the same as the Mirrodine itself, just in a soft version.
Yep.
You told me you were coming, baby.
Yeah. All right. So what you don't know, don't pay attention to the flowering Florio. That's another bait from Pinellas County days that I've collected in this little shadow box. But we're going to talk with Eric about some of these original Mirrolures from the 50s to today. And he's going to take you back through history as well when we go into the conference room and talk about how the L&S Bait Company got started and came to Florida and now is a staple in everybody's tackle bag. Check this out. So we're in the conference room here with Eric Bachnick, and we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Mirrolure. How long, Eric, has Mirrolure been around now?
Well, my grandfather, he was a carpenter by trade, and in 1937, he started whittling, wooden lures in Kankakee, Illinois. And, obviously up there, they're freshwater lures. They'd use them to catch smallmouth, walleye, pike, that sort of fish. And
are those the ones species right behind you?
That's them right there. Those are actually some of the original wooden baits that my grandfather made. So that was the start of L&S Bait Company right there. That happens to be the Bassmaster. He made a Muskie Master, a Pike Master. So this broken back, if you will, two-piece construction was the original design. And boy, I tell you, you go on eBay right now and you can still buy plenty of those baits. So he sold a bunch of them. I don't know how many he sold, but he sold a world of them because there's just a lot of them out there on the market. And it's a neat bait. They used to use the motors back then weren't 100 horsepower or 200 or 300 horsepower motors. They're small little tiller motors. So they used to troll a lot with the Bassmaster, even in salt water. So that was the start my grandfather did back in 1937. And he made those freshwater lures. He soon, after finding the designs out of wood, made molds and then popped them out of plastic. So, right there in the late 40s, early 50s, he was making a lot of baits out of plastic injection molding machines. And that was really the main start of L&S Bait Company, was that freshwater category. Then in the late 50s, he moved down here to Florida, where he fell in love with the saltwater fishing and started designing saltwater baits. So that was pretty much how we got started. Here's your favorite right here, the mullet topwater right here, the C85 with that high frequency rattle. Looks like a little mullet. This is the perfect time of year to use it as well.
It really is.
And
October, November are just lights out for topwater fishing before those fronts.
All right, this is our 28 MR. That's our new Heavy Dean XL size. So it sinks about a foot per second, like the popular 52M. And it's very popular in some areas like North Carolina. And when you want to fish somewhere between 4 and 6 feet of water, this bait will get down there with the sink rate right where the fish are.
That's good.
So what color? You like the 808?
Yep, 808 would be great. That's
Halloween
a great
right there.
Yeah, that's right, candy corn. It works.
We'll do that. We'll get some of those.
So parting thing, some of the stuff that came out were some of these new CA baits.
New custom colors.
Custom colors.
There's the sodium shad right there. Look at that one with the blue back and that.
That's the first
gold,
look right there. That's
gold
great.
sparkle dot. We got Bayou mullet here. This is one of my favorites right here.
Oh yeah.
Brown gold with an orange belly. And then we got one called Bad Croaker. Bad A Croaker. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
The bone folks are going to like that one right there, huh?
That's going to be a good Texas.
It's got that
right
crushed pearl insert inside.
Yeah. Very good look.
Very nice stuff.
And then it looks like plum crazy.
Plum crazy. purples really sell well. Look at that one. It's got a
really
black
do.
back with a broken purple
Yeah, it's gonna,
broken glass
that's gonna
insert.
be a good low light and good dark water color.
Sure, true throat.
Yep, nice. Appreciate you sharing that with me.
No problem.
That's a good way to walk out of here.
Absolutely.
So I walked out with a box full of stuff, hats and some of the new baits, and I'm looking forward to utilizing all of them. It's going to be a good fall for me. And Mirrolure, it's the bomb when we get into this time of year. So put these away. All I can say is if you guys like what you see here on FlatsClass YouTube, give us the thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I want to take you on more field trips, teach you more about fishing, show you interesting people like Eric Bachnick and Garrett and Mike that work here, and, well, help you catch more fish. Well, I got to look in the box here. You know, walking through the parking lot there, I was just putting stuff away, and I really didn't get to see what Eric had put together for me, other than he gave me some killer caps, and I got a couple of nice cups from his 10-year anniversary of owning the brand outright himself. But two of the baits that I would say I was really impressed with, and I know is going to be, you know, game changers or difference makers in my fishing and many of our FlatsClass fans. One would be the CS85 MR. This is the top dog junior size, if you will, of a surface walker that they're going to offer. And in this pattern, this skin series pattern, this is going to be dynamite. I mean, every snook angler, every big trout, gator trout angler is going to want this in their tackle box. That's a given. That size, Topwater is probably their most popular. So that one's really that 85 MR is really gonna take off. The one that I'm the most impressed with, and the one that I know we're gonna get a lot of use out of, there was a lot of ask from many ardent fans of Mirrolure. When are they ever gonna make the Mirrodine XL in a heavy size where it'll sink faster? And they did. This year at ICAST, they launched this heavy Dean offering in the XL, and it's going to be called the 28 MR. That's the new, that's the new number for it, if you will. And the number series at Mirrolure can be confusing, but those of us that are big fans understand it very well. So the 28 MR is going to be your new Mirrodine XL fast sinking bait. How fast it's going to sink, as you heard from both Mike Tinian, the sales manager, and from Eric, it's going to sink about 1 foot per second, which is going to put it right in line with that 51 MR and that 52 MR that's been popular forever. And the wedge shape of this bait makes it rock kind of down, and it's going to rock fast. So those of you that like to fish a little bit faster moving water, fish creeks and rivers, fish residential canals, intercoastal waterways around those docks, you're going to love that plug. It's going to catch a lot of fish. It's going to not only catch the trout and the snook, but you're going to catch redfish on it. You're going to catch even flounder on it if you let it rest on the bottom and just kind of bump, bump, bump and get it to come up and fall, come up and fall. It's going to catch a lot of fish for you. So those are the two I was the most impressed with. Like I said when I was walking away, if you like what you see here, you're learning stuff. We're teaching you how to be more efficient with artificial lures, because that's my job. Please subscribe to us and share it with most of your friends. We want to be your go-to, your authority on artificial saltwater fishing. So if light tackle is your game, you're a kayaker, you're a microskiff guy, you're a wade fisherman, you're a bay boat guy, we want to be the entity that you look for when you're trying to sharpen your game. All right. I've got that project to work on that Cameron and I, that's the whole reason I went down to Pinellas County. And my first guest on that project was going to be someone you really like. It's going to be a crossover guy. Shaw Grigsby is all I'm going to say. All right. Watch for it. It's coming up 2023. See you guys. Keep those lines tight.